Hello, I'm recording this on October 23rd, 2023, and that means two things. I hope you all had a chance to take in the Orionid meteor shower, and it is time for the Darkness News update. And let's just jump into this. A new study published in Nature shows that nighttime exposure to light in a survey of 87,000 adults found that those who did experience light at night were associated with an increased risk or worsening symptoms of major depressive disorder, generalized anxiety disorder, PTSD, psychosis, bipolar disorder, and self-harming behavior, while the inverse was true for those that had greater exposure to daytime light. Relatedly, circadian disruption has been known to cause neuroinflammation in mice. This is a new study. And it shows that that neuroinflammation leads to anxiety and depressive symptoms, as far as you can diagnose those in mice. Also in mice, Nature, a study published in Nature, has found that a circadian disruption has been linked with weight gain. Light pollution outside is damaging the habitats of North American bats. Specifically, this is a preprint study showing that activity is down closer to light sources, even if at that point 75 meters out away is zero. Like measured lux is 75 meters away from a lamppost, but brown bat, specifically both little and big brown bat activity is 43% lower than what it should be. Fortunately, 248 scientists have read 2,697 peer-reviewed publications and formed a consensus, specifically a 25-item consensus of things that the entire lighting industry, the design community, engineers, electricians, everyone can do to pursue improved circadian lighting. A new measurement from Salvidor, Bará has found that wind farms are too bright at night and that assessments for environmental impact need to change. We have a new device that should help astrophotography. This device allows the shutter on a camera or a camera that's attached to a telescope to actually sync or off-sync perfectly with an LED flicker. So when the LED modulation hits lowest, its dimmest, the camera closes and takes a picture. This is a fix. It's not a solution, but it is a fix, and that's interesting. Chicago had 1,000 fatal bird strikes in a single night. One building in Chicago is responsible for 1,000 fatal bird strikes in a single night. This was on a Thursday at McCormick Place, and someone at the Field Museum had to arrange volunteers to count and collect dead birds early in the morning because they have to leave their lights on at night. They feel they have to. Meanwhile, France is going to begin fining stores and businesses for leaving their lights on after hours, as much as 1,500 euros. Now, this isn't because the French are smarter than us. They're not more empathetic than us. It's because they're going into winter and there's still a war in the Ukraine, which means the cost of fuel is going to go up. And it's easier to deter people that have a lot of lights to turn them off at night to keep the rates low for everyone than anything else. This is pure and simple motivation. And yet, Chicago, Cook County, the state of Illinois can't manage to do this for migration season when you have 1,000 dead birds surrounding one building. My therapist says it's good for me to just take a moment to have the despair and move on, so I'm just going to do that for a second. Anyway, Chile has announced a new national lighting standard. All publicly owned lights will get warmer, and sports fields and advertising lighting will be put on timers because they are better and smarter than us. In the UK, Parliament has discussed the matter of light pollution, specifically because the House of Lords issued a report on light and noise pollution and how it should be a matter of concern for the government. And in discussion, they pushed that down to regional governments based on some laws that were already existing. So there we go. Speaking of local governments in the UK, Nottinghamshire County in the UK has cut their lighting and is not seeing a downside. Now, some residents are complaining about the perceived levels of visibility and any gaps between streetlights, but County Council maintains that there has been no associated increase in crime, slips, trips, or falls since the new lighting came in. The Sea Turtle Conservancy's grant program has partnered with Florida State Parks to distribute education kits to 9 parks. And you know what happens when state parks get education kits from the Sea Turtle Conservancy? They have a record year for turtles. Sanibel, Florida has had 6 times the number of nests than they did 40 years ago when they started counting. It's still in the subject of turtles, Savannah State University in Georgia has gone to Jekyll Island to photograph what the actual beach looks like at night from the turtles' perspective. They're sitting down on the ground, looking up at the buildings facing the beach and seeing what lights would dazzle and how they can work on those in specifically. Cave Creek, Arizona has begun work on securing status and recognition from dark sky. So have the villages of Suffolk in the UK. Orem, Utah is petitioning City Council to change specifically advertising and signage lighting laws to reduce it to about 0.3 of a lux at night. East Yorkshire is experiencing a farm that is blasting pink light straight up into the air after dark. That's fun for them. They had to be convinced it was not a UFO, but a local farm that had switched to LED. Lyon, France will be cutting their lights between 2 and 4:30 in the morning. And in BC, Canada, Polycombe Beach is getting dimmer, warmer LEDs after citizen complaints. They're switching from 75 watt to 39 watts, and they're going from 4,000K to 3,000K. And if there's one thing I think this series can really respect, it's people who go through the slow grind of municipal politics to get what's good. So I congratulate them. And the High Desert Museum in Oregon is beginning a new push for darkness restoration. This is a new advertising campaign called Got Stars Central Oregon. It's backed by the State Parks Group, a pollinator advocacy group, a couple of astronomy groups, a local observatory, the local dark sky chapter, and the Worthy Brewing Company. They also maintain an observatory as well, but I just think it's interesting to see a beer back, the lights going out. And speaking of beer money, this series is here because I'm doing it, and I'm doing it because of user support. You know, the Lighting and Darkness Foundation is why I'm able to do this. So if you like what this is, please consider taking some time to donate. Please share the message around, and put a timer or a dimmer on your lights at the very least. Until next time, I've been Scott Wachter. Thank you very much. See you in 2 weeks. Thanks.